The Farmer and His Sons. Long, engaging moral story. Hook. Start of the video. A father's last wish was ignored by his sons, until it was almost too late. What did he leave behind that changed their lives forever? This story holds a message that every family must hear. Story. In a quiet village nestled between green hills and winding rivers, there lived an old farmer named Hariram. He had worked on the same piece of land for over 40 years. His hands were calloused, his face lined by years of labor under the sun, but his spirit was strong. What kept him going was the hope that one day his 3 sons, Vikram, Bola, and Suraj, would inherit the land and work it together in harmony. But his sons were very different from one another, and not in a good way. Vikram, the eldest, was proud and short-tempered. He believed he was the only one smart enough to make decisions. Bola, the middle one, was lazy. He avoided work and always found excuses to lie in the shade. Suraj, the youngest, was kind-hearted but indecisive. He often got caught in his brother's quarrels and didn't know how to stand his ground. The 3 brothers argued constantly. If Hariram asked them to plow a field, they argued over who would hold the plow. If he asked them to water the crops, they argued about who did more work. Even during meals, they sat separately and barely spoke. One summer, Hariram fell seriously ill. The village doctor visited and quietly told him that his time was short. The old man lay on his bed, staring at the ceiling, worried not for himself, but for the future of his land and his sons. One evening, he called his sons to his bedside. "My sons," he said weakly, "I have nothing much to give you except the land, but remember this, there is treasure buried in the fields. You must dig for it together." The sons' eyes widened. "Treasure?" Vikram asked. "Gold," Bola added, but Hariram only smiled faintly. "Work the land. Dig deep. Do not give up. You'll find what I've left for you." That night, Hariram passed away quietly in his sleep. The very next morning, the 3 sons rushed to the fields, tools in hand. Each one dreamed of gold coins, jewels, or even ancient chests buried under the soil. They dug from dawn to dusk, turning over every inch of the land. Days passed. They found nothing, no gold, no treasure, no hidden chests, only dirt, roots, and worms. Tired and angry, they began to fight again. "He tricked us," Vikram shouted. "There's nothing here." "He made us dig for nothing," Bola added, slamming his spade into the ground. But Suraj, wiping sweat from his brow, looked at the land they had dug. It was soft, well-tilled, and ready. "Look," he said quietly, "the soil. It's perfect now. Father always said good soil gives good crops." The next day, they decided to plant seeds, wheat, pulses, and vegetables. It was the first time in years that the brothers worked together without arguing. They shared the load, took turns watering, and began to learn the rhythm of the earth just like their father once had. Months passed. The crops grew lush and healthy. When harvest came, their fields overflowed with grain. The village had never seen such a rich yield before. The brothers sold the produce and earned more than they ever had. That season, they not only made money, they also found peace with each other. For the first time, they laughed over dinner, shared stories, and began to feel like a family again. One evening, as they sat under the old neem tree where their father used to rest, Vikram said, "Do you realize what father meant?" Bola nodded. "The treasure wasn't gold. It was the land," Suraj added softly, "and the unity he wanted us to find." They sat in silence, watching the golden fields sway in the evening breeze. The land had given them more than they expected. Not just crops and wealth, but a bond that no argument could break. From that day on, the 3 brothers worked as one. The land flourished, and so did their love and respect for each other. And though Hariram was gone, his wisdom remained, rooted deep in the soil he loved so much. Moral: true treasure lies not in gold or riches, but in hard work, unity, and the wisdom of those who came before us. When we come together, even the simplest soil can yield the richest rewards.